This is your WCIA 3 forecast first.
Satellite radar picture here, calming down after we had a few showers and storms earlier tonight. It really kind of depended upon what part of Champaign, not just Champaign County, but Champaign that you were in, whether you had a lot of rain. We didn't see a drop at all. 76 in Champaign right now, 77 in Springfield, 75 in Effingham. It is a very warm and muggy night out there. It's going to be kind of a hot day. Tomorrow's temperatures get closer to the 90-degree mark. Sunny and warm to start. Small rain chances. We'll talk about that. And when the heat index may reach 100. We'll show you that coming up. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
Birth control will be more accessible to people in the state next year. What the new process will look like. And it's up to school districts to decide if masks will be worn this year. But parents at one are making sure their opinions are heard. And 2 police chiefs are stepping down soon, who's been selected to replace them for now.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
That's the idea, is that for a vast majority of the population, it should be easy.
He's talking about oral contraceptives becoming available over the counter starting in January. Good evening. I'm Bryce Beeman. Jessica is off tonight. Governor Pritzker signed the bill into law today. We spoke to a pharmacy about the accessibility of the birth control, who say this should be convenient for those who use it.
House Bill 135 that's being signed today expands access to oral contraceptives by allowing pharmacists to assess patients and prescribe those drugs.
Next year, people in Illinois can receive oral contraceptives from their pharmacists.
Better access to contraceptives is an important health equity issue and a problem that UI Health is dedicated to solving.
People 18 years and older can now get oral contraceptives from their pharmacists, which can be easier than scheduling a doctor's appointment. Pharmacists will undergo training before the January start date.
As pharmacists and pharmacies, we're probably one of the most accessible health care that there is, so it'd be easy for them to come here, easier than the doctor's offices.
Hudson's Drug Shop in Paxton says a person can make an appointment or go to their pharmacy for a screening. At Hudson's, a pharmacist will go to a private room and speak with the patient. The patient will have a screening and take a questionnaire so the pharmacist is aware of their health.
We would work with other healthcare practitioners and patients to make sure the appropriate contraception is being dispensed.
If the pharmacist declares the person in good health, then they can leave with a month of oral contraceptives and can pick up the pills each month for a year.
As pharmacists, we're also well trained in the use of side effects of medications, so we're well positioned to be able to help people with this.
This bill also expands to Medicaid, which makes it accessible to those who may not have been able to get it before.
The cost shouldn't be a barrier to people.
This will not require a doctor's signature. Illinois is the second state in the Midwest to make this change. Planned Parenthood also tweeted about their support for the bill, but went on to say that more still needs to be done for access to all. And telehealth visits became the norm during the pandemic, and a new law means they could be here to stay. It requires insurance companies to cover telehealth visits through 2027. That makes it easier for people to pay for them. One doctor with Crossing Healthcare in Decatur says this is an important fix from the state.
Patients in the last year have learned what's possible. Healthcare providers have learned what's possible. And I think this was just an enormous step forward for the healthcare industry in general to better be able to provide care to our patients.
She also says telehealth eliminates so many of the hurdles that can cause people from lower income communities to not get the care they need. And as the school year is getting closer to returning, many school districts are faced with planning on how to go back to in-person learning. Tonight, Mahomet's school board met to discuss their plan. WCIA 3's Jared Farmer is with us. And Jared, they spent a bulk of that time talking about masks.
And Bryce, that's because the school board members and parents are split between whether it should be required. All schools in that district will be returning to in-person learning this fall, and as it currently stands, Champaign-Urbana's Public Health District, as well as the IDPH and CDC, are requiring all students who aren't vaccinated to wear masks. During public comments, some parents urged others to prioritize the health and safety of all students, but others argued it should be up to students and parents to make that choice.
The benefits far outweigh the small nuisance of having it. A mask, you know, it's not a big deal. we can wear it. And let it be the parent's job to decide what they want. Let the child decide what they want. But they're brilliant kids. You know they are. That's why you're here.
Another important thing to note in their current plan, while the school district is strongly recommending students get vaccinated, it won't be required, with board members saying getting the vaccine should be a personal choice. Board members say their plan is always subject to change based on the number of cases and what health officials are recommending. Bryce, back to you.
All right, Jared, thank you so much. And as for the latest COVID numbers, nearly 56% of people ages 12 and up are fully vaccinated. More than 71% have at least one dose. Nearly 2,000 new cases were announced today. 6 more people have died. The positivity rate is now up to 3.3%. And while some students are already back in the classroom, others are still getting ready. But some districts still need workers to get them to school and back home safely. Places like Mount Zion, Mahomet, and Champaign schools say they are hiring bus drivers. Mahomet Seymour Schools Director of Transportation says they need about 4 permanent workers and as many substitutes as they can get. Without drivers, they won't be able to help students get to school on time.
It's just about fulfilling our promise to make sure everyone in Mahomet Seymour gets a quality education, and not every student in our area, their family or life situation doesn't always allow for them to be dropped off and picked up from school every day, and that's where we come in.
He says they struggle to find drivers every year, but they're hoping more people apply. Pay is competitive, experience is preferred, but they're willing to train. If you're interested, put in an application now. A Decatur man is facing money laundering charges. U.S. Marshals arrested Joseph Laramie. Detectives say he laundered at least $100,000. The money came from several home burglaries in Champaign, Bloomington, Normal, and Peoria. Investigators say Floyd Brown is the burglary suspect. Police say the Springfield man shot and killed an officer in Rockford 2 years ago. And Decatur police are taking the unique step to publicly dispel rumors about an investigation. Deputy Chief Shane Brandel says back in May, detectives started looking into a sexual assault claim that happened 10 years ago. Police say the suspect knew the victim. Investigators have served several search warrants to look for evidence, but they're not sure how long the investigation will take because the case is complex. Brandel says the investigation has generated false rumors on social media. He says claims of other people being involved and other details aren't true, and that these rumors are dangerous and could jeopardize the investigation. He's asking people to let the investigation continue without the spread of misinformation. And we talked to Chief Deputy Brandel about a different kind of crime today, shootings. Police departments in Central Illinois are trying to find solutions. Brandel will be stepping in for Chief Getz after he retires on July 30th. He says police departments need support from the community to tackle this issue.
We need to start talking to and holding our state and federal legislators accountable. This is a nationwide issue. This is not a Decatur issue. It's not a Champaign issue. Every city across this nation is facing this issue. So that should be a clear signal that we need state and federal help with this.
Brandel says he would also like the department to work more with community leaders to lower crime. And the city of Champaign has named its new interim police chief. The city manager says Deputy Police Chief Matthew Henson will have the job starting August 6th. This comes after Chief Anthony Cobb announced his resignation. This will last until a permanent chief is hired. Henson has been working at the Champaign Police Department for 20 years. The city manager says she thinks Henson will be a great transition in leadership.
Having somebody who has worked in this department and worked in this community is he's going to hit the ground running. We don't need to start from scratch. We can keep advancing the things that we have been working on.
She says she hopes to have a new chief hired by the end of the year. And there will be more jobs open in downtown Champaign. Plans for a new hotel are starting again. COVID stalled the proposed Marriott Aloft Hotel. It'll be at Neal and Hill Street. Doug Altenberger is the owner of the current vacant property. Officials with Champaign's planning department say he is hoping to get a permit to build on it. They say construction should start late fall. The delay has also driven up costs. This is because of the rise in price for raw materials like steel.
What are the cost increases and how does this project absorb that? And that's what he's doing right now as he starts to plan to get this project back on track.
Officials say it is in the range of $25 million. The hotel will have 145 rooms and will be 6 or 7 stories tall. Illinois football season will be here before we know it. What Coach Belima had to say at Big Ten Media Day. Plus, county fairs are back after being canceled because of COVID last year. People say they're excited to be out this coming weekend to one of them. But
you're going to go, aren't you?
I'm planning on it. I want to swing by. I saw Jennifer Roscoe's funnel cake, and I want one now.
Funnel cake and
fried Oreo balls.
There you go.
Yes, I got to get those. Ooh.
Yeah, see? She's all hungry now. I'm sure many of you the same way after seeing Jennifer earlier tonight. You did eating those funnel cakes. And, yeah, maybe some nice weather, but a little hot. But that's typical for the fair this time of year, right? 87. Going back above average, but it's going to get worse. We're talking about heat index values near 100. We'll talk about storm chances coming up.